What's up, you guys? Welcome. My name is Kavion. If you guys are new here, welcome. And if you guys are a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back here. It means a whole lot to me. So as you guys can tell from the title, I'm going to be talking about the importance of being alone and the benefits of it. And I feel like this is such a very cliche topic too, because it's like when I hear alone, like it's always used like as like a negative thing. It's never really used as like a positive thing. And honestly, it's underrated. You know, being alone is very underrated, but it should really be a self-growth. It should be a self-improvement for yourself, you know. Being alone is a great thing. Now, there's like a difference between like being alone and lonely. In my book, I feel like being alone is like a choice in a way, while being lonely is sort of like a emotional state of mind where you are desiring attention from people. Like, you know, you feel disconnected from people. And alone in my book is not similar to that. I mean, obviously they're used commonly together, but I feel like it's like two different things in my book. So with me being in my early 20s, and it's always like a sense of shockness when I say my early 20s, because I look very young for my age and I act young too, so that really doesn't help at all too. But I always hear people that say, like, you know, being in your early 20s is you know, the best time of your life. It should be a time of having fun. It should be, you know, it shouldn't be a time to be alone. And to an extent, I do agree with that, but not the alone part. I think being alone is like essential for any age, but it's really important, I think, while you're in your 20s, because you are finding yourself. And the only way to kind of do that is by being alone. I think if you're around a whole bunch of people, it's harder to reflect your life or plan or think and focus on your life when there's just a lot of distractions, you know. And I think your 20s should definitely, I mean, not saying not to have fun, of course, still have fun. I feel like it's a time to start making intentional decisions on your life and plan where you want your future to be. And I'm not saying that you should have your life figured out by the end of your 20s, because I personally don't think I'm gonna have my shit together by the end of my 20s, you know, because you're still figuring out life and stuff. But I just, you know, I think it's a time to really plan out your future, you know. So with this year is almost coming to an end, I've really been thinking about like my goals and stuff that I set for myself at the beginning of this year. You know, we all had like New Year's goals and all that. I've been thinking about that more often, because this year is almost about to end, which is still wild to me that this year is already about to end, when I feel like I just blinked and this year's just went by like mad fast, you know what I'm saying? But I've just been really thinking about that often, and I was able to kind of really think about that because I've been sick too, off topic. I've been sick, so I've been kind of isolating myself, so I was able to kind of really think about life a little bit more. I tend to do that when I'm alone. What I mean by that is, when you're alone, you're able to create good habits. And I'm just gonna speak for myself, because there are some people who cannot stand to be alone and they desire other people, and I feel like that long-term wise could be really bad, you know. And I say that because, like, for example, maybe you are always in like relationships, and because you don't like being alone, you can't stand your own company essentially. So you know, you kind of get that energy from other people. That's how you reciprocate that. You know, let's say you're bouncing from relationship to relationship, and they're always kind of short term, but you're looking for a long-term relationship, but it just never really seemed to last, to really become that. And you're kind of like confused, why is my relationships always short term? And I think the answer to that could be, you need to really find yourself and be alone for a bit to really analyze and think about your past relationships. I feel like you won't really know or find an answer to why something is not lasting until you're by yourself and you start really thinking about your life choices. Maybe it's the people that you are getting with that are short-term relationship type people or something, you know what I'm saying? Like, you won't really know that until you're like by yourself and you're able to really think about it and pinpoint it and focus on it, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's just one of the powers of being alone too. You're able to really think about that and, you know, come up with the best ideas. You're working at your own pace. There's no judgment. Like, you know, I can go on, but it's one of those things that I feel personally everyone should be alone at some point, you know. I'm not saying that you shouldn't socialize with people, you shouldn't
you know, be only one man standing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying any of that, but I'm saying, like, sometimes you just need to be alone, and it shouldn't be looked at as like a negative thing, you feel me? I notice a lot of people look at it as like a negative thing, or they associate it with like being lonely or feeling down or sad or something like that. And it shouldn't be looked at as at all, you know? I love my own company, and I still go out, I still socialize, I still like people sometimes. But I still, you know, I still go out and stuff, hang out with my girls, see family. Like, I still do that, and I just, you know, it's still important to build that up, but, you know, also focus on yourself. And the only way to do that is by being alone and, you know, prioritizing your life and focusing on that. And, you know, it's a balance. It shouldn't just be one thing, or it shouldn't be one or the other. It's a balance, you know what I'm saying? So one thing that I also wanted to point out is during the pandemic, I was able to really think about my life and choices too during that time, because I was alone. We had a lot of time to really think about our lives and reflect it. And that's when I was able to, you know, discover different hobbies that I like doing. And, you know, I started to create videos on YouTube around that time too, which I'm still doing, obviously, because that's how you do this video. But I was just learning different stuff that I actually didn't know that I enjoyed doing until I actually was able to sit down and have time to do it. And that's just a random thing, but like, I'm just saying, like, that's just one thing that is an example of being alone and just kind of focusing and reflecting on things. And, you know, yeah. So hopefully this video was helpful to you guys. If it was, make sure you guys do hit that video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys on my next video. Hope you guys have a blessed day out there. Peace.